All right, so last week in the markets, what we were expecting is for the SPX to pull back down and retest this support area and then likely bounce higher. We got the pullback. We just didn't really get the bounce. We ended up closing the week slightly lower here. The way I see it is the news is holding the market down. We've had just a series of, we had an interest rate hike announcement, and we have this continued tariff news in the marketplace that's holding the market back. So that's the way I look at it. That being the case, I still see this as bullish behavior here, and I would still expect the SPX to probably bounce higher off of this. And if we continue to get bad news and things happen, it may try and push the market down a little more into our primary trend area, which would bring that back down to the 2850 range. I would not anticipate that happening, so I'm still predominantly short-term bullish on the market as of this week. If we look at the Dow, I was expecting this kind of to pull back to either previous highs or possibly down to this previous swing high here that was happening towards the end of August of the 26, what's this, about 26.2 area. We didn't get pulled back quite that far, but we did pull back for the week. Again, not surprising with the SPX pulling back to support and considering the news environment. I also remain bullish on the Dow as well. The NDX was actually the only index that had an up week last week. It came down, and it looks like we're settling in a support, diagonal support area right in here. Bounced back to the top of that, and so that was a little bit mixed, as according to the other indexes. And then if we look at the Russell here, the Russell, not surprisingly, broke down a little bit more underneath this support area. And again, part of that has to do with the SPX pulling back and the relative weakness of the Russell and so forth. But we're still, as I was saying last week, I was expecting Russell to range between this lower trend line here and the upper trend line here in the near future, and it has pulled down towards the lower end. Again, still longer term bullish on this index, although it may reset back down a little bit lower, 1675. We'll have to wait and see. But if the SPX takes off, this is likely to kind of range between the upper and the lower trend lines here. That would be my thoughts on the market. So again, going forward, I am short term leaning towards the bullish side. I think any kind of a lack of news, the market goes up. If we get continued bad news, or if things continue to get worse, then we may try and retest some more significant support areas in the market. But still generally sideways. I'm not complaining. It's for the trades. It's been fantastic the way the market's been reacting here. This nice flat, slightly down move is great for like an M3, for example, and bearish butterflies as well. So that's looking good. And let's move on and check the positions.